Good evening, race fans. Welcome to another edition of Dirt Track Central. Matt Kovacic.
And I'm Justin Hopp.
We're going to talk some racing.
Yeah.
We got some good guests in store for you tonight. We've got Jay Neal with BSB coming on. Talk a little bit about the rules changes and what BSB can do to help you out with your sport mod program. Talk a little bit about shocks. We've been meaning to have those guys on and talk about shocks all year, and just had a tough time catching up with Jay, so finally got that set up. We're also going to talk to Tyler Fry, who's hasn't raced near as much this year, but he's certainly won his share of races, and just kind of see what his plans and what things we have in store from him next year. So talk about some races coming up, and whatever else you guys want to talk about, get on our Facebook page, Dirt Track Central, and give us a message there what you want to talk about. Or you can also email us, dirttrackcentral@gmail.com. We'd also encourage you to send your photo of the week submissions as well, and we'll take a look at those as we go through the show here. Start off by thanking some sponsors, though, paying some bills. Of course, we always like to thank Engine Quest for their presenting sponsorship of the show, as well as Extreme Motorsports, BMS Modifieds, VP Heartland Race Fuels, BSB Manufacturing, and Contour Cameras. So
Yeah. Well, we'll start off the show with our featured race, and I don't know, this weekend we had the fall fling at Salina Speedway, 2-day show, 2,000 to win both nights for the modifieds. We brought in some good cars here, and so we're going to go ahead and watch the modified feature. The second night seemed to be one of the best, but there's a lot of good racing, and we got a lot of videos up on our YouTube channel, so go out and check them out if you haven't already got a chance to. So we'll start here with the fall fling at Salina Speedway.
And here we go, race bids off at turn number 4. We'll look for the green flag. 25 blacks jumping at us. Stacy Wilhelm getting cross. Off before green wave. Into one they go. Wilhelm out front. Jordan Grabowski jumping for that second spot. Kenny Cross right with him. And Corey LaCruz making a move now. Here comes the 24. Wilhelm brings him off at turn 4. He'll be lap number 1.
97, David Murray down low, getting a good run out of turn 2. Morrison right there side by side, 3 and 4. Look at him coming out of 4 side by side.
Grabowski, your leader, down to turn 1. Side by side for second to 3. 3 wide off at 2. Ryan Dell, Joe Cleveland.
Leading them into 3 and 4, looking to go green. LeGrune looking to move up 1 spot at least tonight.
Back straightaway, Jordan Grabowski. Breakaway.
right there. Last 2 or 3
Oh,
weeks just has
you're gonna gotta hate that.
Yeah.
Heck of a run, heck
Yeah.
of a race for him there.
Caution is always coming out at a bad time for him.
Yeah. Yeah, his luck this season has been not there. Murray's weeding his way to the front one at a time here. Got himself a new body on the right side.
We'll see a little later how he kind of got
Murray
some of that
up
tore
in the
off.
number 2 spot, fighting for it in 3 and 4. The groom not wanting to give it up.
Just amazing how they slingshot that 1 and 2, and 3 and 4 they can race side by side.
Murray down low, Grabowski high in turn 2. Grabowski getting a little better bite. Dave Murray Jr. with a big run down the back straightaway. Grabowski
Grabowski can sure drive her in deep.
Yeah,
Still fighting it off down the front
especially
straightaway.
in 3. It seemed like it was just nuts how it'd go through the center there. No, he couldn't quite hold it down enough to make it worth doing in 1 and 2, but 3 and 4, man, he could drive it in there and still have it come off decent.
There's some there, but
Track started reminding you of the old days there. Black top to bottom. Got some side-by-side stuff going on. Saw a few moves by the 70T that turned out to be the 70K. I ran into Lauren Dower in the infield right before that race, and I said, must be Klima in there. I said, I was figuring it was either him or you, and since you're here, he said, yep, that's Derek.
yeah, I hadn't heard his name yet either, and I saw a race that B feature maybe. Did he race a B before?
I think, yeah, he did
B,
after on the B.
yeah, and I was like,
Yeah, I think it was in the B where I noticed that this isn't Terry. Saw Blocklinger there for a while, gaining some spots, running around the top all the way through the corner, which is kind of an unlikely line at Salina, it seems like. Fun to see the track get to a point where you can do that. But I think what little bit was left right up there around the edge was used up after several laps of that for him. So. Kind of crazy to see the track champion getting lapped.
had a
Excellent race.
Yep, good long green flag run here too.
Yeah.
Got a little trouble there.
Yeah. Well, he wasn't going to give up any space that was there. Use it all up. I forget his name. That H2O is being driven by one of the fabricators from up there at Belleville. I knew his name on Friday. I can't think of it now.
I drew a blank on it too when you asked me who was driving it. I was like, I heard the name, but it didn't ring a bell for me.
Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't Bird, but it's one of the guys that's building cars there. I think he's newer. I saw a good race watching half of it from the infield. But man, that's good.
Yeah, I think that there between Lagoon and Young Hands, I think, is for the third place spot there.
Okay. Hard to tell.
Yeah. There's our leader. There's Grabowski.
Grabowski second.
White flag waves for David Murray Jr. off at turn 4. One more circuit here from the line.
What a race fan.
Discount repair in Oakland, Kansas. Oregon Mud, McCook, Nebraska. EMR chassis by Belleville Motorsports. Carl Chevrolet. Icon Motors Racing Pistons. Premier Coverings. ChaseDecals.com. Your wins. Four-time national champion. Big Dog, I tell you what, you came out here a week ago, checking it out. Thought, well, we'll see what we can do come fall fling. You come out, had some tough luck in the heat last night. And come feature time, you and Brandon was up battling up front and everything, but old Grabowski came from the back, but not tonight, is it?
Well, yeah, we had a little bad luck last night, a little good luck, but kind of took what we learned last night and put it in for tonight, and the car was really good.
I thank all the sponsors that I can find. Anybody on the back row or anybody not on the car you want to thank?
Well, just Jake and Brandon at BMS. You know, I was going to drop this thing off today. We had a bunch of bent up stuff and let them work on it next week. And they said, heck, let's work on it today so you can go racing. So, you know, hats off to them guys. I was ready to go home, and they worked on it and got us ready for today.
Well, I personally am glad you came. You know, you can always count on a show when David Murray shows up. So I appreciate you coming to Salina Speedway to the Fall Flame. Race fans, give it up for David Murray Jr.
All right. Like we said, that was a good show. Had some fun out there. And it's funny that I don't know if it was the guys at BMS or Nikki, but she said that Dave wanted to go home, and she said, "No, we ain't going home. We're going racing." And brought home the $2,000. So, congratulations to Team BMS, and I guess maybe a good time to thank those guys.
Yep. They put on a heck of a show, especially one of the sport mods too.
Yeah.
Taking home
Yeah, BMS raked her in both days in the sport mods as well. So, got to thank Brandon and all the guys that are working hard up there. And I was up there today, and I don't know. Hopefully, there's some official news coming out of there pretty darn quick. But sounds like the backlog is pretty darn big on the modifieds and sport mods, and probably going to be adding another class to their realm of expertise up there. And I said, "How in the heck you guys going to keep up?" And he says, "I suppose we'll work some more overtime." So they got a long winter ahead of them because of a great year for their cars and guys going well in them. Sounds like the orders are flowing in. So congratulations to them. Of course, hit them up in Belleville for all your parts and chassis needs. Also, I want to thank Engine Quest, of course, for their support of the show, and we got a little commercial for those guys. That's a little handiwork that we put together. But EQ cylinder heads.
Yeah.
From IMCA modifieds to stock cars to sport mod divisions, the checkered flag flies often for EQ team racers. As a general sponsor of IMCA Racing and the title sponsor of the EQ Cylinder Heads Wild West Modified Tour, EQ cylinder heads are used throughout IMCA divisions. EQ's 23-degree performance cylinder head is the most powerful cast iron head out of the box and approved for use in the EQ Cylinder Heads Wild West Modified Tour. EQ's early 350 head is the approved replacement head for IMCA Northern and Southern Sport Mods, as well as the IMCA Hobby Stock Division. In 2012, EQ's cast iron Magnum head is the approved stock replacement for IMCA Northern and Southern Sport Mods, along with the Hobby Stock Division. When you need to get to the front of the race, choose EQ cylinder heads, the power choice of racers everywhere. Visit EngineQuest.com or call us by phone 800-426-8771.
Thanks, Engine Quest, for their support of the show. And also on those videos, as you saw that video we played earlier, kind of used two different camera angles there. And if you guys enjoy those videos, like them up on YouTube or Facebook or comment on them. It takes a lot of extra work to do videos like that, but if you guys enjoy them, we'll take the extra time to do that for some of the bigger shows and that type of stuff. So let us know what you thought of those.
The guys at BMS thought we need a third camera angle.
Third?
I said, "Are you crazy?"
Actually, I did, and I never did use it. I actually had one mounted on the fence. And
did you?
maybe
Not come in good? Or?
Oh, I just didn't take the time to do three of them.
Yeah.
I didn't for all of them, and it didn't last the whole night long. So
Okay.
maybe I'll throw something in there. So, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, we can always one-up ourselves.
Yeah.
But, I'd say the quality's pretty darn good, and we got to thank Justin for all the hours that he puts in on the editing. I can do so much to help, but when it comes to that side of it, he's on his own. So go ahead and cut to some results. We had a big weekend of racing between Salina Speedway Fall Fling and then the Flatlanders out at Goodland at Sherman County. So we'll go through some of those.
Okay. Yeah, we'll start off with the Salina Speedway. If I can get her here. There we go. And
Both of these Friday night,
yep.
Saturday night shows.
Yeah, so we'll start with Friday night here. I think I got this right, the right one here. In the mini stocks, the 3X of Brian Dunsworth picked up the win, picking up the big money in those guys. So Brendan Stoner was second, Scott Spellmeyer third, the 31 Double D Dallas Dunn fourth, and Russell Roberg in fifth. And over into the hobby stocks, Brian Weinhold picks up the win in the 007, followed up by the 1X of GW Fuller, 31 Aaron McBride, Pete Beaumont, and Adam Armstrong. And if you weren't there, you ought to see double cheeseburgers out there, as GW Fuller had kind of two cars out there, two of the 1X cars.
His brother-in-law back.
Scott Kossel's driving the other one there. So and he ran pretty decent. So,
Yeah.
Yep. So it's been a while since he had been in a hobby stock, but it had been in before.
Been a while since he's been on the track.
Yeah. So,
He does have a stock car
stock
for
car
sale too, by the way.
Okay. In the sport mods, Tyler Fry, as we talked about earlier, picked up the win, followed up by Greg Metz, Dusty Leonard, Dustin Daniels, and Dan Smith. A lot of big names up there. So congratulations, Tyler, on picking up that win. And in the stock cars, Kyle Vanover picks up actually finished second, but ended up picking up the win after a disqualification. It was the winner, Corey Dumpert, didn't pay a fine, I guess. So
Yeah. I'm sure he just forgot.
Yep. So I think he was hoping nobody noticed. He'd win it and pick up $1,000, and he could have paid his fine.
Yeah. No kidding.
So Nolan Remus is in second, Justin Murdoch in third, Bill Wood in fourth, and Bob Arnold finished fifth. And the modifieds, Jordan Grabowski picked up night one of the fall fling, and David Murray was second. And that was a good race there too, and we got that video up there if you missed it. So followed up by Brian Nell, Joe Cleveland, and Roger Peck. And on the first night, late models ran too. It was the only night they ran, raced for $1,200, I think. And Albert Smith picked up the win over 24 of Bill Leighton.
Bill Layton.
Layton?
Yeah. Actually, Bill Layton Jr. is the one that finished second. His dad was also in a car, which I guess he hadn't been in one for about 15 years or something. And he ran Bill's backup car and didn't finish, but had some fun out there. I'll stop by and talk to those guys. So.
And Jimmy Seagraves in third, Derek Klima in fourth, and Dave Conkright in fifth.
Boy, Dave looked strong. He passed quite a few cars and went forward and back, and they had a good race. So. On to Saturday night, 88S Scott Spellmeyer in the front wheel drive picks up the mini stock money. Brian Dunsworth in second, Dallas Dunn in third, Victoria White in fourth, and Eric Unruh in fifth. So we went every other one.
Yeah.
Front wheel drive, rear wheel, front wheel, rear wheel, front wheel. So it's still amazing to me how well paired those cars really are for of course
That's
Scott
how
is
different they are. Yeah.
he races around quite a bit and got some experience and got a good car, but he raced well against those guys, went back and forth with them, and so good race. Over in the hobby stocks, Brian Weinhold picks up the feature win 2 nights in a row. Adam Armstrong in second, Pete Beaumont in third, Scott Kossel in the second cheeseburger mobile, and the 20 of Jeremy Autumn comes home fifth. So
That was a new guy I hadn't seen much of or heard the name of. You know where he's from?
yeah, I don't know where he's from. I'm assuming Nebraska, but I don't know.
Good to see him make the trip out.
Yeah, thanks for coming. I asked Brian Weinhold in the tech area if he was going to be making more appearances at the racetrack, if he was getting back in, and he said, nope, this was it. I don't know. I'm sure they had fun, though. He was driving Ron Whaling's car from out in Russell, and I think it's one of his motors and stuff. So, but Ron's had a pretty decent season, but he's also been on his lid a couple times and had some rough times, and so
he's had some good and bad. So
I think, well, actually, the story I heard was Brian called him up and says, "Let's go racing," and he says, "Well, if we're going racing, you're driving." He says, "Suits me. Let's go." So. So we got to thank Brian for getting Ron motivated to go racing. Tyler Fry picks up the win again in the Sport Mod division. Looked real solid. Curtis Peel second.
Yeah, Curtis looked real good in that new car too. He was hanging right there with Tyler towards the end of the race there. So.
Yep. Got to congratulate Extreme in first class. They're getting some cars out there and running good. I didn't realize that Kenny Cross is actually in a. I mean, I knew that Extreme had been helping him out, and I thought they had just straightened one of his old cars, but apparently he is in a first-class car. And
he's definitely jumped up here lately.
It's
towards the middle into the season. So yeah,
he's going well on that. Anyway, jumping around here, Dustin Daniels in third. Blaine Walton fourth, and Steve Swarthout in the 23X in fifth. So, of course, Blaine comes home your Kansas State points leader as well. So, congratulations to Blaine on that. And I guess that was his third time out at the track, and he picked up a win last week. So, had some luck out there. It was a good time. Jason Rogers. I think we may see his name in the results from Goodland on Friday night. He was out at Goodland. May not see his name in the results, actually. I think he had some bad luck, and he'd been wanting to come try out Salina all year and just hadn't made it out yet. And so went ahead and made the tug out on Saturday. I think he's about 3.5 hours out from Salina. So made his way out here and made his way to the front. Looked real good.
Yeah, he was pretty excited about that win too.
His first win in 2 years.
He used to always, pick up 3 or 4 wins a year too. It's pretty common for him too. So
definitely, he's a smooth, clean, just a great driver. But I think the bar has been raised the last couple of years, and his car's old. That thing's, I mean, not that there's anything wrong with that, but it's an old stock firewall and floor pan, been around the block type of rig. So I know he's got a new one coming off the jig here, just in time for next season. So we'll be looking forward to seeing how he goes in the new one. And Marty Bart was sure to text me, ask me how about those Bart chassis out there at Salina Speedway. Of course, the 007 Hobby Stock is a Bart car, and as well as Jason Rogers. So 3 out of the 4 wins that he could get. So congratulations, Marty. Yep. Kyle Vanover in second, Josh Hudson in third, Jeffrey Anderson in fourth, and Scott Grinzella in fifth. So we kind of we had about the same number of cars, but almost had a half of them change from night 1 to night 2. And
I saw 3 or 4 new cars in the pits. Like, oh, good, we're going to get some more stuff.
That's what I thought.
Then they come out, and I was like, gosh, we lost about 4.
Yeah, we lost everything we gained. I know a couple of them had weddings and just.
Is that what happened to Remus? Because he had
he had a wedding.
He had a good run the first night. I thought, good to see him run good and maybe come out here.
Trying to think. Newland had a wedding. I don't know. There was a few that had weddings. Of course, they had one that didn't pay his fine. So, just the way it goes, I hated to see that. I was really hoping for a good car camp for them, but they put on a heck of a show one way or the other. So, on over to the Mod Lights. Chris Unruh picks up the feature win and looked darn good. Had the race of the season out there for him. So. And he got out of the car, and he was just all all calm, and I said, "Don't you dare smile." Finally got him too. Bud Lee picks up the second place. Corbin Pickrell, Nick Watts, and Brandon Gray. Top 5 in the mod lights. And in the modifieds, we just watched. David Murray picks up the win. Jordan Grabowski, Grant Younghands, Corey Lagroon, and Stacy Wilhelm. You know where Stacy is from?
No, I didn't. That was another guy.
I wasn't sure on that one either, but he had a good run both nights, and I did notice it was a BMS car, so. But we'll move on out to Sherman County, Friday night at Goodland.
Yeah. And in the hobby stocks, Shannon Anderson made the long haul from Atlantic, Iowa out there to Goodland and picks up the win over Cody Pancake, Jamie Songer, Tyrell Smith, and Darren Green.
Jamie Songer's also he's from Des Moines, Iowa.
So
chasing national rookie points. He is the national rookie now. So.
Yeah, congratulations on him. Yeah. And in the sport mods, we got Chris Himes was the one who pulled off the win over Austin Walker, CJ Panistil, and Brian Hendrick, and Jacob Alder. So,
I wonder whose car Brian Herrick was driving. He's
HP.
He's the rubber ducky, which his car. Yeah, he sold his car to Jason Breeze, who was at Salinas, so we saw it. But OHP, I can't. Oh, I bet it's who's the guy that's H2 or not H2? Gosh darn it. He was parking next to Murray at Hayes for quite a while there.
Oh,
beginning of
Hawkersmith,
season.
maybe?
Hawkersmith. That's. I bet it is.
Yeah,
But
that could be.
anyway,
Now go on to the stock cars, and Nick Tubbs picks up the win over his brother Jeff Tubbs. Angel Munez was in third, Bruce Plumisto fourth, and Casey Woken. And,
you got Tyler Tipton up there.
Oh. Oh, maybe I jumped today. Sorry,
There
I
you
jumped
go.
today. I was telling you what already ahead of time here. So it's Nick Tubbs, Jeff Tubbs, Tyler Tipton, B.J. Wagner, and Casey Wolken. So for the stock cars. And on to the modifieds. John Hansen
Nice.
Has had some good runs out there from Colorado, right?
Yep.
Yep. So, and Jeremy Frenier finished second. Will Brack and Darren Deloach, all these Colorado guys here, which pretty much Goodland is
Pretty
Colorado.
much. They're in Mountain Time. Colorado can have them.
Yep, and Cody Gearhart. So, yeah, Cody made the long.
Wow, that is a tote. Of course,
yeah.
he's way west
Yeah.
in Oklahoma, so it probably was 6 and 1, half a dozen the
Yeah,
other to go
probably
out
was.
there or come to
Yeah.
Salinas. So,
Yep.
and he's used to running with those guys. Probably
Yeah.
friends with a lot of them. So that maybe be the decision.
Sure.
On over to Saturday night. Shannon Anderson, what a surprise,
Yeah.
picks up the win again. Austin Taman, Austin Davis, John Lukert, and Cody Graham. That's a good run for John. That's a wow. Cody Graham. Yep. That was a good.
And I haven't seen Austin's
Get
name
on
for a
there.
while too. We used to race against him quite a bit back in the day.
Austin Davis.
Yep.
Hmm.
So
I think sounds familiar. I'd probably
up-
recognize the car
he's
if I
up
saw it.
from
But,
Nebraska area.
we got deja vu going on in the sport mods. Chris Heim and Austin Walker first and second. Jacob Adler moves up a couple spots to the third place. Darren Crouch and Jason Gray round out the top 5.
Gave
And
this one
another
away.
deja vu.
Yeah.
Nick Tubbs, Jeff Tubbs, Angel Munoz, Bruce Plumisto in 4th, Casey Woken in 5th. Those good runs for Casey Woken, 2 top 5s, and I know he's had some struggles this year with
Was his
motors
brother
and this
there?
and that. And, Casey? Does he have a,
Oh, was it on?
oh, you're thinking of Casey Workmeister.
Work.
This is
Oh, I was thinking of the
Woken.
work.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
Okay. Yep. I was
Mhm.
thinking of the Workmeister. Yeah. So,
Yep.
Okay.
Modifieds, Brady Cohen, another Colorado boy, Darren Deloach, Jeremy Frenier, Eddie Bellick and Cole Hodges. So a couple of fresh names there in the top 5. But Jeremy Frenier gets his way up there both nights. So congratulations to him on a good run. That'll do it for our results from last weekend. 2 big races, and I think sound like both of them, the fans got their money's worth. I still haven't made it out there to that Flatlander show for a long time. So
yeah, that one's got a long running for being out there. It's
always been that last points race of the season, 2-night race, and last couple of years we've had other races closer to home to go see. So, but always a good one. Just a long stinking drive out there.
Yeah. Sure.
For some reason, it feels longer to go there than to go to Boone. Anyway, on down the line here.
Kind of
go ahead.
Talk about the kind of the news section. The things that kind of got was first to do a real quick announcement that Xsand is planning on being at the Fall Nationals. So if you can't make it in person and want to watch it live, they're going to have a pay-per-view event for that. So yeah, I guess the next best thing. And
That's right.
If not, we're going to be there getting videos and all that stuff too. So.
Yep. Yeah. That it won't affect our coverage. We'll still provide you with results as we go, as long as Mrs. Hop's feeling up to it, and try and get those pictures and videos for you as well. So, but if you want it now, you can get it.
So, there's a lot
haven't
of people
seen
that will want to too. So.
Yeah. Yep.
It's
So the announcement was there today. I haven't seen anything as far as pricing or any of that, but I'm sure that'll be coming out in the near future. Also, the IMCA rules and the modifieds and the sport mods came out this past week. I think next week we're expecting the stock car and hobby stock rules, and they'll continue on down the line. Just of course, the biggest announcement was the crate engine, which we had already expected, and we're just kind of waiting for what the final word is on that. And here we see the final word is 6,400 RPM limit, 3-inch spoiler, and they're all going to run the same weight. So basically your advantage with the crate engine is, you can be 60 pounds lighter on the nose. It is aluminum headed engine, so it's,
and the spoiler is an option too.
yeah,
You
you don't have to run the 3-inch spoiler, which I was kind of surprised that they did put the spoiler on there, just because in talking to Luke Waniger, he said that there was no handling difference, no performance difference between the 3-inch and the no spoiler. He said they bumped it up to 5-inch a couple of nights, and that was a huge difference. And said you really just couldn't believe the difference that a couple inches would make.
Yep.
But it's like it's got to be so tall, I guess, before it starts catching something, and once it does, it really makes a difference. So,
and it may make a difference on certain tracks too, maybe bigger tracks, smaller tracks too.
Right.
But I almost kind of wish they did make it mandatory. That way you could almost just know which ones had a crate in it, which ones didn't.
Yeah.
Make it more obvious. I mean, I'd really wish they didn't have any spoiler at all, probably. But if they're going to have one, kind of make it mandatory, so you kind of say, hey, that's guy's running the crate.
We can pick them out, but they'll be. I did see a clarification in the rules that all cars running crate engines have to say crate on the A pillar on both sides now, which I think it had been stated but not really enforced well, and I think it may have just been on the driver's side before or something, but I think it's interesting to the fans that get into it enough to care about the difference, that to be able to see what one guy's got versus another. So at any rate, that's the modified changes. Other than that, I think everything is pretty well the same in the mods.
Yeah, I'm sure there may be some little things that are maybe just kind of pointed out better, worded different.
Clarification type
always
things.
those
Yeah.
things. But those are going to be the major
Mm-hmm.
points.
I don't know. We could call Jay as we start talking about the sport mods. We've got Jay Neal from BSB coming on the show tonight. As we talk about the sport mod rule changes, one of them is the 13-inch free height spring, which most of the fast guys started out with those. A lot of everybody pretty well had them just a few years ago, and now they've come out with more and more options in the tall, lightweight springs, and a lot of people have gone to that. But I did call and talk to Dave Brin about that a little bit, just to get some insight, as some people were curious as to what the idea behind that was, and part of it is just really the reasoning is to create more parity in the class. The more things that you can have similar on the cars and mandated to be similar on the cars, the less room there is for an advantage. And it was, I think the sport mods put on a pretty darn good race. But there were some guys that were outstandingly faster than others, and this is an attempt to kind of even up the playing field as far as mechanical advantage goes. So we'll see how that shakes out. And also the shocks, which is a cost issue. The bulb type shocks have been disallowed in the sport mods, and we've got some examples of those as we'll call Jay here, and we'll get his shocks out and show you the differences there.
There's also a maximum diameter too, so which some of those,
We'd also,
some of those Integras are pretty big. So I'm guessing those are bulb shock too that are going to be
Okay.
illegal too on them. So
That makes sense.
so yep. I'll see if I can't get Jay called up here. We'll kind of see what he's going to have to.
Hello, this is Jay.
Hi, Jay. This is Matt and Justin, Dirt Track Central. We're just starting to introduce the Northern Sport Mod rules for next year, and I pulled out some example shocks here that I stopped by Jason Schoenberger's, and we thank him for the use of these shocks so that we can show the differences in the types of shocks. And obviously, you're the expert in that field, but I don't know much about shocks, and I can see the differences here. So, but you can, I guess we need to start by introducing Jay Neal, the owner of BSB Manufacturing, and we certainly thank you for your support, continued support of our show here, and of the local racers. So I guess just go ahead and talk a little bit about, of course, the two rules changes that are affecting the sport mods, and what kind of solutions BSB has to offer the guys.
Okay. Well, first, I'm glad I'm here, and I'm glad I'm supporting your guys' deal, and I hope we can continue to do it, and it reaches a lot of people. The IMCA's come out with another way to save us money by not allowing the more expensive, expanded gas chamber shocks for next year and the Northern Sport Mod. So the difference is the 20 series shock, which will be legal for next year, does not have that expanded bulb. It doesn't have a bigger gas volume on it. The advantage to that is that allows the driver a lot more feedback from his car. So he's more in tune with what's going on. He feels it better. He understands what's going on. So it is a little advantage, and it's kind of a shame that it's happening because the sport mod guys in this area kind of got that deal figured out, and they've started to get on that program. but it will not be legal for next year, and the 20 series will. And we got a lot of good things going on there, and I think we're going to do some stuff that we were not going to do. To allow that to even be a little bit better piece just for the Northern Sport Mods.
Okay.
I don't know if you guys can hear me real well, but there's an extreme amount of background noise going on, so it's very difficult.
Okay. We'll try to.
I'm getting feedback through the phone.
You're getting feedback from us, kind of. Do you have the show playing on? You're not.
No, I don't.
Okay.
This is much better, yeah, because I could hear echo back on me horrible.
Okay.
Okay. Well,
yeah,
we
much
weren't
better.
hearing the echo. We did get what you said there, but sorry for that difficulty. And
well, that's all right.
can
You know,
continue
the
here,
other
so.
thing IMCA is doing is, and it really saddens me that they did the shock deal, because I wanted to offer the Sport Mod guys a deal with springs and shocks combo for a very good price, which we're not going to be able to do because we was going to do it based on the 25 series stuff. We've worked very hard to make our springs and our shocks work together, and it's evident when you see some of the guys that are running a full package steel and how much it's improved their program and stuff. But like I said, we're not going to be able to do that, but we're going to try to do some stuff that we were not going to do in the 20 series, but I think we will now, and let some of the Sport Mod guys take advantage of it.
Okay. Do you still have? I've got an example of. Jason doesn't run any of the 15 series stuff, but he did have an old Bilstein laying around that looks similar. Do you still see guys using that, and what are our advantages? Obviously cost goes up as we go up in number from the 15 to the 20 to the 25. Can you explain the differences or the advantages that we gain there?
Yeah, I can. When a guy, let's say a guy this year, he bought, he's BMOD, and he bought the 25 series shock. And he's got a little bit of investment there, initial investment, but the cost of usage for the year is probably less than the cost of a Bilstein shock. So let's say a guy went out and he bought him 25 series, cost him $280 a piece. He raced them all season. He kept them pretty clean and damage-free. He's easily going to be able to get the $200 out of them. So, he can put them up for sale. Modified guy's going to come along and be more than happy to pay $200 for them. So he had an $80 cost in them. A Bilstein shock, and I'm not knocking anybody's product, but, a shock like that's going to cost you $115, $120. At the end of the year, it's going to be a lot tougher to sell it because nobody's really wanting to buy that as a used piece.
Right.
So that shock cost him $115, $120, to race. It didn't give him the performance that let's say the 20 or the 25 series are, and it still cost him more money at the end of the year. Plus, if you bought a 25 series shock, you're going to get 3, 4, 5 years of service out of the piece because of the way it's manufactured. We're the only company that does a honed ID tube. Everybody else uses a DOM tube, which doesn't allow the shock to hold its pressures after 30, 40 nights of racing. And then when you try to rebuild them, you can get them values back up, but they soon fade back off fairly quickly. So, when you buy a product and you buy a shock from us, our shocks are not represented very well by their price because I've tried to hold the price down to make them affordable. We should probably be charging way more than we are. But I just didn't feel like it was fair to the racer, and I wanted to try to get more people on a better piece, and so they can concentrate on other stuff and let the car do what the car needs to do.
Okay. That's I just got a text message that we're having a little trouble with what's going out, so we're going to try to tweak something here real quick before we go too much further. Fans are having a tough time hearing you, but if you go ahead and talk, that way we know if they're hearing you,
Okay.
because they are hearing me. so-
Okay. We talked a little earlier about, people that have bought in 25 series shocks, the cost of those shocks and what they're going to do with them, now that they're no longer IMCA legal for Northern Sport Mods. And we haven't really had time to, think of any kind of policies or anything. But right off the bat, the individual's going to have enough return on his investment, that he should be able to sell them for $200, $225, $230. Clearly get more money back than he ever would have on any other product. Shouldn't really be too hard to sell. I can help him with putting it on our website or our Facebook pages to allow people, to know this stuff's available for them. So, I will help anybody that's bought one try to sell them. And I got some modified guys out there that will probably jump on the chance to, have a shock around that price range, $200.
All
Are
right.
you having any better luck
Yeah,
here?
we are.
Yep.
We've got you going out now, and
Okay.
that one of my questions was that, and now that I'm looking at these next to each other, I could probably answer my own question. But I was curious if the feasibility would be there to convert a 25 series shock to a 20 series shock. But I see that the tube is longer on
Yeah.
the 20 series shock.
It's also manufactured a little different up in the top, so
Okay.
we wouldn't be able to do that. The shafts and the internals and the gland and all that is the same, but the tube, the body is not.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
but really, if you looked at it from that perspective, even if it was possible, it wouldn't be feasible from a cost standpoint, just due to the fact of the residual value in the 25 series shock. And correct me if I'm wrong, but you can use the 25 series in IMCA on the stock cars and the modifieds, correct?
Yes,
So,
that is correct.
So
That is correct.
either of those group of racers certainly could be interested in that, and obviously, a shock rule for most people is not going to be something that's going to cause them to change classes. But if a guy was already thinking about going that way, and now
Right.
I've got this investment, and possibly have a chassis that's upgradable or whatever, and the invention of the crate motor, I mean, certainly may make the modified a more appealing piece to some guys, which I don't know that was necessarily the goal by IMCA, but it certainly is. It's there, and I guess we'll see how the crate motor thing goes, but
Yeah.
it may be.
And that's a good point too, because that would be for some of the Northern Sport Mod guys that have 25 series stuff, that possibly know somebody that may be getting a crate. It would be more beneficial to them, because if you're a little under horsepowered, then your car is going to have to be spot on even better, and you need to be able to get feedback from the car to get the car, to keep the car throttled up as much as possible. So this is one thing. This is why the Sport Mod guys realized how important the 25 series stuff was, because it allowed them to be faster without really fixing or changing anything, because the feedback from the car was so much better that now they realize, hey, you know what? The right rear is digging. I can pick the throttle up, and basically we're in the gas more, So, some of the guys that may be listening tonight, that are thinking about doing the crate and the A mod, or maybe feel like they're a little under horsepowered in the A mod class, they need to be thinking about some of these B mod guys that have had these 25s and trying to get a hold of them, because there's going to be still a good value for them too.
Definitely. We have one question here online. Do you feel that the shock and spring changes will slow the class down at all?
No, I really don't. I think no. I think they'd have to do, like we talked earlier, when some of the guys in this area, like Tyler Fry, started racing, he was winning races on 13-inch springs.
Right.
And he feels like he's not, that much faster today than he was then. So he feels like that was competitive to today's standards.
Certainly.
If they want to slow him down, no, they're going to have to do more than that.
Yeah. Right.
If they want to make it an even playing field, I think it'll even the playing field for a little bit of time, But these guys their minds, are spinning, they're thinking, they're trying to figure out, how to get around this deal, how to make it better. They're talking on the phone, they're Facebooking each other, they're doing all this stuff, And then when we roll out there at the first part of next year and we spend 2 or 3 weeks on it, they'll start applying some of those applications, and they'll figure out a way to make their car just as fast as it was.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, a lot of that is just knowledge, which some of them don't gain as quickly as others. Like you said, as you do your homework, that knowledge tends to flow pretty quickly, and we certainly can get the guys where they need to be. And I mean, you look further back in the pack. Dustin Daniels finished third, and that car, drove flat, and it's got a 15 series style shocks on it, AFCOs, and just stuff that it just goes to show you that you don't have to have a wild setup and a tall spring and a $250 shock to make the thing go forward. Of course, that guy has a ton of laps on his butt too, so all of that plays into to that success as well. But there's I guess just to the point that you don't have to spend the big dollars to be running up front, but you do have to do your homework.
Yeah,
and
so
Jay,
I think a lot of times guys will try to buy into some technology, and even when you do spend bigger and better money, doesn't mean if you don't do your homework that you're going to end up with the best piece.
Yep.
Because sometimes you don't always get your value's worth either. There's product out there that you're paying good money for that you're really not getting as good a piece as you should. So a guy needs to do his homework that way, technology-wise, and truth be known, just overall driving.
Certainly.
So
Yep. Seat
when
time.
you take guys like Dan McDaniels, that's got a lot of laps on him, Tyler and some of these guys, basically they become good drivers and their driving skills have increased. And they're going to win races, whether they're on 13-inch springs or, $50 shocks. But, that's where we kind of step in and try to close the gap on some of them guys because we're trying to make a better piece.
Yeah. We've talked a lot about the shocks and the springs too. Do you guys actually offer a spring then that'll be available? That's made by BSB then, or that you guys are working on?
Yeah, we do. We offer a spring right now that's, I've co-partnered with another company and we're building a spring. They're building a spring for us, to our design and our specs, and we've had tremendous success with it. Although we don't have a ton of them out there, we've had great success with that program.
So some of these guys that are looking to change now back to a 13-inch spring can get a hold of you guys, and you guys get.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. Now now's a good time. Because they're forced into at least buying a few springs because of the left rear deal. Mm-hmm. And what I tell people, generally if you're on a lower budget spring program and you want to stay 100% on top of your game, you need to keep them springs pretty fresh. So sometimes that means 2 or 3 times a year replacing your springs. Mm-hmm. Now, when you go to our stuff, because our spring's heat treated, and it controls the spring better because of the heat treat process, you're going to get a full season out of your springs.
Yep. So that's another way to actually maybe spend a little bit more up front, but save you in the long run.
Gain some
right.
value.
Yep.
Yeah. The cost of ownership is going to come way down.
Okay. So that's great.
Certainly.
Yeah.
Well, is there anything else? I mean, we talk about your products throughout the year, and we don't want to just focus on the changes. I think your brake pad program is something fairly new that some may not know about, and
Yeah, the brake pads is another thing that we've worked on to kind of help even up the field, and make a guy better. There's this tremendous amount of knowledge that goes into the braking system, and there's a lot that we overlook in that area. So the pads do help the cars make a lot more grip, and I when I first started in this deal, I thought, brake pads are about stopping, not going fast, but the fact is that you can control the car so much better with a set of our brake pads than you could before, that you're putting grip, you're leaving grip in the car. You're not taking it all away on entry. So you enter the corner with more grip, you're going to exit the corner with more grip. So we're doing that deal. We're doing some, we had F&K do us some special rod ends. These rod ends, they don't bind up. So as the season gets slicker and stuff, now all of a sudden you're not losing all this grip. So everything that we do, we always try to focus on trying to make grip, because unless you're out in the Midwest, Iowa, Illinois, around here, Texas, New Mexico, California, we're racing on the slick, and having a car that goes in the slick good is important. So when you go somewhere that's heavy, you got your bases covered. But you watch them guys come back here and they struggle because, technically we're all good in the moisture. It's the slick where we struggle. So everything we do is to try to improve that situation. So whether it's a piston design or a birdcage design or, brake pads, our brake pad, our pull bar, tremendous piece. We started it last year, and it's great. It's great in the slick. It's just wonderful. So we do got the stuff, we're a small company in size. Our marketing departments, also our design departments, also our engineering and our tech department. So sometimes we don't do the marketing as good as we should.
Well, and I think you have a really nice marketing department in the fact that we don't go to a big race without seeing BSB and typically seeing them up front. So I don't know that you can ask for a whole heck of a lot better than that. If your racers are running up front, they're pretty
fortunate. I've really been fortunate to have, some good drivers, some good people, help me promote our product, and we've been very blessed, and I'm very thankful for all of our customers and all of our people that's helped us get us where we're at.
All right. Well, we got one more question, and then we need to get Mr. Tyler Fry on here to tell us about his season and plans. But they want to know how the rules changes will affect your business, your sales, which.
Well, it's. I don't think this one's going to be as tough as the hobby stock rule change from last year, because if they would have took the 20 series away from us, it would have cost me $20,000-$30,000 to provide a piece and stock inventory and do all this stuff to be back in that market. When they did the hobby stock deal, we had to spend a lot of money because we had to double up our inventory and do different things. And in the long run, I think I'm the only one that suffered from it. I mean, because the racers ended up with the same product they had, it just cost me more to build it. So on this particular deal, I don't think it's going to be quite so bad because we have a really, really good piece in line with the 20
you've got
series.
The product offering to.
Yeah, and like I said, we're going to probably try to do some stuff in the base valve area because that was working very well in the V mods also. and probably just be kind of for a B-mod deal.
There are a lot of guys nervous about the spring height. Do you have things in the works as far as?
Yeah, I have already, before the rule even come out, we was already kind of updating our 3-link mount for the B-mod deal. We're trying to make it a little more adjustability in it. Where we got into our biggest issues was some of the other 3-link or B-mod classes in the country allowed them to put the springs on the 3-link mount, and that was more than our piece was designed to handle, because it was really kind of just an IMCA piece.
Right.
So we're trying to make it a little more user-friendly for them type of guys, too, which is just going to make it stronger for everybody else.
Definitely, and some of these guys...
I'm going to do a 3-inch tall cup on that deal to try to help on this deal. We'll have that cup available, so there will be 6 inches of cup restraint there to try to help keep the cup in. We might go ahead and, like we talked earlier, maybe make some provisions, blow some holes in there with the laser or something to have some provisions. If somebody wants to put something in there to hold the cup down.
Yep. Yeah. Still, as of right now, we're still legal to retain that spring to the lower mount, which is something that a lot of guys don't do, and really I'm not real sure why it's not a mandate just from a safety standpoint, much less a time standpoint at the racetrack. But at any rate, I guess we could talk products all night, and I'd be happy doing that. But we got one of your fine gentlemen that has your name on the side of the car coming on. So
you've done me a wonderful job, and I appreciate all he's done for me, and appreciate what you guys are doing for us. And keep up the good work. Tell Tyler. There may be a new nickname for him, Fryler.
There we go.
55 Fryler. But tell Tyler thanks, and tell him to, head out to Hayes and give him a good time out there. And he's probably headed to Beatrice this weekend, but tell him hi for me, and I appreciate what you guys are doing.
Okay. Thank you very much, and we'll be talking to you soon. See you at Hayes.
All right. Take care, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
All right. There you have it from BSB. If you're in a 25 series shock or something similar to that, I'm sure it carries over, and even if you're not on BSB product, that there's obviously some residual value there. You made an investment into a rebuildable piece, and so you're certainly not out too bad, as those are resellable units, and it is good that they've changed the rules that are still accommodating stuff that's been on the shelf, and the R&D's been there, and so I don't think the class is going to suffer a whole lot. Maybe it will even the playing field a little bit, which would be always good.
Well, I think we got Tyler on the line. You there, Tyler?
Hi.
All right. Sorry about that. I was still blabbing. But we just got done talking to Jay about the rules changes and the IMCA Northern Sport Mods. What do you think about them?
About the only rule that really bothers me would be the shock rule. We just bought a couple of the 25 series this year, but I don't think the shock rule is really that bad. If it would have been introduced about 2 years ago, I think it would have went over a lot better with everybody.
Yeah. Shouldn't have waited until it was a problem to fix it. But then again, I guess you gotta know it's a problem to fix it. But
yeah.
But hopefully those can be sold to some modified guys and retain some of your value there, and get back into something that's within the rules, and save you about $100 a shock. So
yeah, there's no doubt about it. It's a good shock, so I don't think they'll be hard at all to sell to some of these modified guys looking to upgrade their packages.
Okay.
It should be easy to sell.
Definitely. Tell us a little bit about about your season this year? It's been a little bit of a roller coaster.
Yeah, roller coasters for sure this year. We started out the year at Beatrice with a really good win against some really good competition, and then came out the second night and had to start in the back. Us making our way up through there and ended up getting stuffed in the wall and tearing up the front clip on the car. So we got that fixed and went out a couple weeks later and rolled back. And about the middle of the year, we rolled another one. So it wasn't the best year for us that wise, but other than that, we've got some big wins and been a really fast car for us.
Certainly, yeah, 2 in a row at Salinas. I would say probably what most would consider the fastest guys in the state were present for that race, and
yeah, that's for sure.
Didn't seem to have a whole lot of trouble there, making your way through traffic and getting out there where you needed to be.
Yeah, we got pretty lucky with our. We drew 3 both nights for the feature, but that second night we had a really good heat race, and that kind of bothered me if we'd even make the regional, but we ended up coming through and winning it, so it made for a good night.
Definitely. We missed you guys at Boone this year.
Yeah, we kind of planned on going, and the 2 nights before, well, the night before Beatrice, which was the Friday night, we would have to leave Sunday for Boone. We found a problem with our good motors, so I figured it was probably just going to be best to stay home and sit that weekend out.
Yeah, that's a tough deal, and at least you didn't find it sitting in the parking lot there, having spent the money to tow up there and park it in the pits and watch. So
that's exactly right.
Yeah. What's the plans for the rest of the season?
Well, for the rest of the year, we're going to hit up Beatrice and Hayes, and I think Brandon Blocklinger got our car sold to a guy that's going to pick it up after we race Hayes, so that'll probably bring our season to an end then.
Not going out there to win Vegas, huh?
I'd like to go. Maybe we'll find a way to get out there and at least watch this year. But plans are to kind of make it out there. But if somebody wants to buy the car and
yep,
good stuff.
There you go. Well, we'll just have to get the 2013 hitting the ground early.
Yeah, that we'll try.
Yeah. Well, I was just up there today, and those guys look like they're swamped. And he said the backlog is there. So.
Yeah, I think that that day when I was out there, they were already having people ordering for next season. So
yeah,
it's up already.
Definitely been a great season for BMS, and there doesn't seem to be any trouble selling one of their cars. So,
No.
what's the plans for next year then?
Oh. Well, I'd like to say that we're going to run for national points again, but I can't say that we will for sure. But as of right now, that's the plan. We all kind of want to take a year, kind of slow down for a year and regroup everything. And we partnered up with EQ this year to build a couple motors that I think are probably can be considered as unbeatable motors. So we'll come back next year and hopefully win a bunch of races.
Definitely, that's that's exciting news. I guess the guys kind of got to wait to see where the car counts were and things like that. But you have any idea where you expect to race weekly for those points, or?
Really, right now, no.
No.
Friday, you have the chance of running at Salina or Beatrice. They're both just over an hour away, so they're pretty easy tracks. With Minneapolis closing, that kind of hurts us.
Yeah.
Now it's 40 miles from home, and there's the next closest track on a Saturday night, hour and a half, 2 hours away, so that kind of puts a bind on where you're going to run. But
oh yeah, well, I suppose you can get on the horn and find some guys with $1 million laying around so we can get Minneapolis open back up.
Yeah, that shouldn't be hard to find.
Yeah.
Shoot. Be a good dream anyway, but
Yeah.
but I think as far as racing as a whole in the state is concerned, that's hasn't hurt too terribly bad, and it's helped some of the other programs around, I think, and
Yeah.
there's plenty of racing options. A lot of I guess the good and the bad is when you run for national points, fuel money tends to be a big piece of that puzzle, because it's hard to make racetracks survive very close together anymore. So if you're going to race 2 or 3 racetracks, it typically means a drive, and
Yeah.
it's unfortunate for the racer, but I guess the way business works anymore. So,
Sure.
but well, do you have some sponsors you'd like to thank? Obviously, you mentioned EQ, and we've mentioned BSB, and
Yeah, BMS has helped us out huge this year, and so I really need to thank them. And I think right now they're building one of the best cars out there on the track, and with the BMS car and the BSB shocks and springs and the EQ motors, I don't know if there's a better combination for me anyway. But then I got Morris Garage, he helps us out some, and there's a bunch of help out there that you can't ever mention. I got Dave Reese, Dave Wilbur that bus their rear end for me every night or every weekend on that car, and they like to think I don't know how to work on it or something. They kind of just put me off to the side and jump in there and do it all. So I guess I can't complain about that. But my wife and son, they put up with me doing it all week long, and my dad and mom and stepmom, and it's a big family deal, and that's what makes it fun for all of us.
certainly is a good time to get together with the family. And do you have any favorite racetracks or favorite shows that you like to attend?
Oh, well, we made our first trip to the Harris Clash this year, and that was pretty fun. But I think Marshalltown that Friday after the Harris Clash was probably one of the funnest races we've been to all year. I mean, it's shaped just like a lot like Boone, except they actually let it get dried out and slick, and it was a blast there, being able to fly around the top or the bottom, so that was probably one of my favorite tracks. But I mean, really, if it's a racetrack and I get to go race there, I love it. So
yeah, I hear that, but also have to agree with you on Marshalltown.
Yeah.
That's got to be towards the top of my favorite places to watch a race. It's it's always
well,
a
next
good.
year we're going to try doing that Frost Buster and hit all those Iowa tracks right there, and I think that'd be a blast to do once.
Yep.
After we sat home and watched those videos, that will definitely went on the bucket list, and I don't know. We'll see how the vacation all shakes out, but that's certainly towards the top of the things that we'd like to do next year.
Hey, Brian Lariviere went this year and made it look like a lot of fun, as good of finishes as he had every night. So we might have to try it next year or something.
Yep, just don't let that girl beat you.
Yeah, she's pretty good. Though.
That's one stout girl there.
4 in a row at Marshalltown there, and that night I was there, I think she finished right behind me or something. But that was a wild night at Marshalltown. So I want to go back and try it again. I guess I went into the race. I usually don't get very intimidated, but when you look at the field of cars that race at Marshalltown weekly, I mean, Nick Roberts was there. He won Boone this year, and you got Janae Gustin, you got Scott Davis. He won Boone last year, so it's kind of an intimidating group of cars when you pull in there.
Yep, yeah, they're all great competitors. So, another reason that it's top of the list as far as ones to hit. I don't know, for whatever reason. Of course, the Iowa drivers tend to get a little more recognition just because they tend to race Boone more often, and so they tend to make the show more often and have more success there, I think. And so
Yeah,
that makes a name for you.
And I'm in Kansas. I'm used to that nice dry dirt, not that big heavy.
Yeah.
I don't drive hard enough on it or something, I guess.
Yeah, it's definitely a different deal, isn't it? But, well, hopefully we see some success out of you this weekend. I don't know that we're going to make it. We'll just have to see how the weather goes. That Beatrice is always a freezing cold, stinking, miserable deal. So.
It usually is. We're going to have our heater there, I can tell you that for sure.
Okay. So.
If it's nice Saturday, though, I might hop in the car and head up and check it out. So good luck, and thanks for taking time out of your evening to come talk to us.
All right, thanks for having me.
Have a good day.
You too.
All right. Well, that was Tyler Fry with the BMS BSB Engine Quest. He's damn near a Dirt Track Central sponsored
pretty
car.
much. Yeah. Well, they're all the good guys to have on your side. So
definitely,
we're glad they support us, and I'm glad they help support Tyler too. So.
That's right. We look forward to big things coming from Tyler next year again. See where we're at. What have we missed? we got 5 minutes left. And we got a crash, and we got to. Can we fit the crash?
Let's try to do the crash
least?
for sure. Yeah, it's not very long and pretty quick. Well, maybe we'll do the bonehead later. But oh yeah, I forgot where I had it. I got it right here. The crash of the week. Most of you probably heard or know that Jerry Phillips went for a tumble, and this is in the heat race on day number 1. We'll go ahead here and play this.
Speedway's got a little bit of a road to hoe here.
Devin kind of got us headed in the way, so we got a little focused on him for a second. So. Let's play it again here. Kayla had the infield. I was going to try to get a hold of David Chavarria and see if he said he got it and he said he's going to put it up, and never did see him put it up. So I don't know exactly what started this. Like I said, we can't just let our focus because his head there.
Sure looked like from where I was standing on the Sweden that Phillips up into the wall, and then they kind of came apart, and then they wheel hopped each other. And I don't know how. I don't know. Phillips was up the opposite direction, then somehow ended up on the wall, and it was
ended up taking
quite
out
a deal.
Some of the fence there, and they had a long delay in getting the car separated and set upright, and then actually fixing the fence and stuff. So it drug the night out a little bit late night the first night, but they ran through really good on the second night and got over a good decent time. So
yeah, that was kind of a nerve-wracking crash there, because the way Phillips's car was laying on Murray's car, he couldn't get out the driver's side, and there was fuel leaking, which we've been over that safety stuff this year, but I don't know, malfunctioning flapper valve or what's going on there. But
the vent sometimes can.
Yeah, but at any rate, it's leaking fuel, and he can't get out quickly, and so the safety crew did spray it down and try and keep it to where if it did ignite, it wouldn't go far fast. So congratulations to the safety crew, and we do appreciate them.
So another thing I want to try to do real quick here too is we got our upcoming races this weekend. and one of them is going to be the fall nationals. Or no, that'd be 2 weeks. This week will be Beatrice, but David sent in this commercial for the fall nationals in a couple weeks here. We'll play this real quick.
The competition is stacked. So is the payout. The 6th Annual Fall Nationals, the final races of the year. It all begins Thursday, October the 11th through Saturday, October the 13th at the RPM Speedway. I-70 and exit 157 in Hayes. Thursday night is the IMCA Sport Compacts and Test and Tune for all the other classes. Friday and Saturday, the other 4 IMCA classes will be in action. Races Thursday and Friday begin at 7 p.m. Saturday, the green flag drops at 6. The Fall Nationals, 5 classes, 3 days, 1 champion. RPM Speedway, I-70 and exit 157 in Hayes.
All right. Well, we're looking forward to that one, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But I think we're about to the point where we're just going to have to wrap it up for tonight.
Yep.
We talked too much and didn't get it all in. But
Well, we had a lot to talk about, those new rules, and had Jay on. And
yeah.
a lot of good stuff to talk about, so we'll still go ahead and post our photos of the week, and you can look at them on our Facebook page, and go ahead and still like on them, and we'll talk about them in a couple weeks. I think we're going to be gone next week, or no, that'll be 2 weeks, so next week, I guess we'll, for the Fall Nationals, so we probably won't have a show on Thursday. We may put out some stuff, but don't plan on any show on Thursday night, and we'll kind of go from there.
Yep,
So,
we'll see you the next week. So, well, maybe
yeah, we'll still, I think, have something
got her
there.
up in the air there. But
Yeah.
yeah, we'll get something
So,
figured out. We might move a day or something, but
Yeah.
we'll see you. So anyway, for Dirt Track Central, I'm Matt Kovacic.
and I'm Justin Hopp, and we'll see you at the racetrack.